Alright, kind of picking up where I left off on the whole book review deal. I had recently read and I talked to you about the book. Looks similar to this. It was No Easy Day. It was the book that Zero Dark 30 kind of got their notes from. Zero Dark 30 did not follow the No Easy Day book to a T. It had a lot of things that were similar, but there was a number of things that were definitely different, and some things I thought important. I'd recommend you read the book, and you'll see, because I believe the book to be a truer accounting of what really happened. Of course, who's to say? I just now finished this American Sniper. This, as you see, is from Navy SEAL Chris Kyle, the most lethal sniper in U.S. military history. His official number is somewhere close to 200, as far as best I remember. Very good book. No Easy Day. I enjoyed No Easy Day better, and really because the contrast between the SEAL Team 6 or the DevGru Navy SEALs, which is what the No Easy Day was centered around, versus your regular Navy SEALs. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm not taking anything away from any of them. They're all absolute unbelievable badasses. But to read about it, the DevGru guys, they get the royal treatment. They get whatever they want. They get the best of everything. The sky's the limit for those guys. Reading American Sniper and stuff, it really illustrated to me some shortcomings with our military, and even in the sense, you're talking about, this book talks about Navy SEALs, and in here it indicates a lot of the things that they didn't have, things that they should have had, equipment problems and everything, and I guess some of that went along with the fact it was Iraq, but a whole lot of, almost all of his accounts in this book really have him attached to, say, a Marine detachment or Army or working with another group. There's not as much stuff in here about the SEALs going in and kicking ass. It's about his group of SEALs and them doing their thing in support of other groups. And the Marines were badasses. They're all badass. Everyone. And props to all of them. But contrasting the two books, I enjoyed reading No Easy Day, where they got anything they wanted all the time. It made me feel better about our military and about what was going on. That was just all a feeling. So anyways, but both very good books. Right now, what I'm reading these two books at the same time here. The Night Stalkers and Lone Survivor. I've only just barely got into this Lone Survivor, and this is from Marcus Luttrell. And he is actually, this book was talked about in American Sniper. Marcus Luttrell was the lone survivor from a group of SEALs that was sent in Afghanistan they were on the tail of a high-level Al-Qaeda official, and they were ambushed. And he was a lone survivor. You may remember something in the news a little while back about a serviceman and his service dog that was his dog that helped him with PTSD. Some teenagers beating his dog to death. Well, this was who that was, Marcus Luttrell. If you look on YouTube, look up Marcus Luttrell, you'll see him, you'll see some information, and he'll talk about those kids beating his dog. I mean, of all of the cruel and evil things to do in this world, especially something like that, a Navy SEAL, his service dog, they go and beat the dog to death. I mean, those guys, they might as well, in my opinion, they might as well beat a baby, because that dog was that important. it's unbelievable that there is that kind of evil and malice out there. But either way, this book, from what I can tell, is going to be a little bit more of a heart-wrenching, a little bit down beat book. I think that it's going to have so far it's going to have a good bit of action to begin with, but I think it's going to take the reader through a journey and through some emotions. Now this book here, this is the one that I keep getting drawn to, that I'm spending more time on right now, because it's a little bit more, I don't have the anticipation of everything going bad in this book. Just by the name on Lone Survivor, you know that bad shit's going to happen. With Night Stalkers, what this is about is, all throughout these books about the Navy SEALs and stuff, they talk about the Night Stalkers. What it is there is, and this after the whole failed attempt at rescuing our hostages from Iran, the Night Stalkers were created. They are the group of helicopter pilots and equipment and everything that their customers, their sole payload is Navy SEAL, Special Forces. That's what they do. They are the Special Forces. They are SEAL Team 6 of helicopter pilots. They primarily fly at night. They are the most proficient and the absolute finest pilots in the world for rotary wing stuff. And on top of that, I mean, finest pilots, period. I mean, they are unbelievable. These were the guys that, you know, Black Hawk Down, Michael Durant. He was the pilot that was actually one of the Black Hawk pilots that was captured and finally returned. This was written by Michael Durant. This goes through the entire, from the inception, and I'm not sure how far up it goes to, but this is turning out to be a very interesting book. Especially, I'm a pilot, and so there's a lot of aviation jargon and stuff in here that I really dig, but it's not written to the point to where you can't get it. There's a lot of history in this book. I mean, a lot of history, and so you can get lost in that a little bit. I find myself here and there when it's going through all the kinds of different names and a little bit of backlog and stuff. I find myself skimming just a little faster, but you know, that's like a paragraph or a half paragraph or something. But it's really good. And another thing that makes it's interesting for me is the Night Stalkers. They're based at Fort Campbell, Kentucky, which is partially in Tennessee, just above Nashville. So, you know, I've known about the base for a long time. I've spent some time up around there, and so it's interesting to me. They talk about Tennessee in some areas, flying around, and, you know, there's a good chance that I've seen these guys doing some of the things they said they were doing. It's just kind of interesting. So anyways, I just wanted to talk about American Sniper. I highly recommend it. It's a really good book. One of the things that I like about this book, American Sniper, I'll go back to it here. In it, Chris Kyle's wife, Taya, she talks a good bit in this book. She has a good bit of writings in this book, and it's not one section. It's sporadic throughout there, as they saw fit to put her perspective, the family's perspective, and what they were going through during all these deployments that he was on. I mean, these SEALs, they stayed deployed for 10, 15 years. I mean, they, not taking anything away from our soldiers that go for a deployment or two deployments, but there's a lot of people that have done a lot of complaining about having our soldiers having to go on two deployments or whatever. A lot of the war haters. These Navy SEALs, and I'm sure a number of the other Special Forces guys, Delta and things like that, are the same boat. These guys continue to re-enlist. They continue to go on deployments. It seems like everything I've read about these guys, the majority of them stay active in the field on constant deployments for 10 years, and they're back for just maybe a couple of months at a time or a month at a time, and then they're back gone for a year and a half. Unbelievable respect for the Navy SEALs, and you have to, I understand the Navy SEALs are, the pinnacle in a lot of things. There's some other ones that are the pinnacle of what their specialty is. And so whenever I talk about the Navy SEALs, whenever I read these books, I consider, and I think I include Delta Force and all of these guys, and I understand that all these top top level tier 1 groups probably are around the same type of deal. They're going through the same things. And so these books, even though they are about the SEALs, I believe that they can be translated and transposed right to other Special Forces groups. It just really gives you a good appreciation for what they're doing and what they've done for us. And it's just very good reading. I highly recommend these books. I will talk about Night Stalker's Lone Survivor whenever I'm done with them. Marcus Luttrell, actually, more recently in this book, has released a book called Service. And it kind of picks up where Lone Survivor left off, because after this incident, after he healed from broken back, all kinds of things, he re-enlisted and then was deployed to Iraq and went to Ramadi, which was a hellhole. Unbelievable fighting. And so, anyways, just wanted to, throw that out there, talk about it. And any of you people, if y'all care about your gun rights, join the NRA, call your congressmen, call your senators. On the 19th coming up is March on Capitals. If you haven't heard about it and you're watching this now, if you want any information, you can contact me. Of course, I'm taking a group from Knoxville area to Nashville, Tennessee, but on the 19th, go to your nation's capital. You don't have to worry about even meeting with other people. There will be people there. It's a nationwide thing, and dress up. Don't wear fatigues. Don't wear face paint. Go looking respectable. If you want to bring your family, bring them. You're just going to get publicity. You're going to put a good face and represent shooters well. Contact me if you need some information about it, if you can't find anything about going for your area, and I'll see what I can do for you. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you watching.